who will become largely depends on the journeys of our lives. And today we'll be discussing something really incredible. And I have two delectable persons with me. And by my right, I have
Vanessa Ifemi Dibite.
And by my left,
Wogo Harry Wisdom. People call me Yes Boss.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers to you. So the topic for today is really incredible, and I'd love to get your thoughts and opinions. Who you are versus what you did in school. Alright?
Okay.
Now, for a start, I started out thinking I was going to be a medical doctor. At some point, my dad said, do engineering. But I am doing things that are related to both courses, right? And this goes a long way to tell you that the journeys of our life kind of shape what we want to become. So I want to first of all know, what did you try doing in school?
What I tried by myself?
Yes.
I wanted to do theatre arts. But of course, African parents now.
Okay.
You know them. That's not a course you should go and do in school.
There's no money.
There's no money.
You know?
It's not something that would sustain you for the long run at that time. You know, if they had known that, Nicole Rose or Nancy Sime would be a big shot today, I'm sure they would have pushed me to study theatre arts. But I mean, it is what it is.
All right. So, Mr. Harry, what about you?
Okay, for me, I have been me from time immemorial. I have been this shouty guy that is always on people's faces. I just want to be in the public.
Okay.
So, oftentimes, I've always dreamt of becoming this guy who will always be out there. And you can see,
Yeah,
I think I'm trying to, and I'm out here.
But what did you do in school?
Yeah, I did marketing.
Interesting. So, obviously, you were setting yourself up for the public.
Of course.
All right.
101% guaranteed.
So, at some point, this may be very funny to you guys, but I tried dancing too. And my dad said, stop dancing, there's no money. At some point I said I was going to do mascot. He said they don't have money.
But wait, how can you look at yourself and think you want to dance?
Well, as a growing child, you have things that interest you, but of course, life shapes us.
That's
but
true.
now let's talk about where we are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who we are currently. So, you wanted to do theatre arts,
Yes.
right? But what did you eventually do in school?
Petrochemical engineering.
Was that what you wanted?
No, I wanted to do theatre arts. I told you earlier.
Okay, I thought you said medicine at some point.
No, I wanted to do theatre arts. My dad wanted me to do medicine.
Okay.
I ended up doing
petrochemical
engineering. Yes.
Interesting. So I think amongst everyone here, Mr. Harry is the only one that got what he wanted.
Of course, it has always been so from the beginning. Whatever I want to do, I go after it, and then nature will in one way or the other have them figure out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I feel there's a lot to learn from you because there are not so many people like you, especially in this part of the world, Nigeria, where we have certain factors that control the outcomes of our life.
True.
But to Vanessa now,
Yeah.
how did you get here? I know currently you're doing something way different from petrochemical engineering. So what were the incidents that, the occurrences that brought you to where you are right
This
now?
started when I was 5. I know it's no. Hold on, I'm getting somewhere.
Okay.
I used to be a chatterbox, long-winded, always asking questions, always, Mommy, what is this? Uncle, what is your name? Why is your face like that? As a child, and my mom was like, this one will be lawyer. This one will be lawyer. Do you understand? And I grew up and I got to understand that no, I don't have the knack for law or anything to save anybody. No, I'm not a hero. So I wanted to do something that would show who I am while I talk.
Okay.
And that was theatre arts to me at the time. But my dad, of course, now.
So you got out of school. Did
Yeah.
you in any way pursue the theatre art stuff?
Well, I tried to do movies at some point in my life. I won't lie to you.
Did you feel?
I did not fail. That's not what happened. No.
Alright, tell us the story.
What happened was, so you know how the market is saturated, right?
Okay.
And you don't know who is real and who is fake. I mean, today it's easy because you see audition, cast call online. Back then you see a signpost and you just have to run to the theater and to do auditions, or they'll tell you some hotel. And back then, if you already know that going to a hotel means something else.
Okay.
So when we see the hotel one, we'll just shift it by, I say, no, this one is not for me. At some point, I tried to join AGN, Actor Guilds of Nigeria. It wasn't working. So, and I went to music. I must be heard somehow. Somehow the theatre arts thing must play out. Music didn't work out. I could not handle it in school. It was too much pressure with schoolwork, music. It was a whole lot. I couldn't. So I just focused on my studies and
At that time.
yeah, and I came out. Today I'm doing sales, marketing.
Welcome.
All right, so I want to get
Welcome.
to you. I want to hear from Mr. Harry. Now, the interesting thing about your story is
Yeah.
that you knew you loved to talk. You wanted to be in front of people, right? And for some reason, you chose marketing as your option of, school. Now, I'm wondering, didn't you have hindrances? For example, when I wrote my first jam in Nigeria, of course, right jam, I didn't get the cutoff. So I was trying to do medicine. Second year I got it, but I didn't get medicine. And then my dad said, okay, medicine is difficult. Let's try petroleum engineering.
Yeah.
Then I went to do basic. Because in basic, if you're trying to do medicine, we have like a very minimal number that gets accepted. So it's like, instead of doing medicine in basic, let's do petroleum engineering. So now you're discovering that the problem was not the profession.
Yeah.
The problem was where the money would come from. I don't even get the idea. Like, what would this boy do
that money will come out. When it comes out, it will not be a liability to the family. Yeah.
So now, how did you deal with that pressure? Because I mean, in this part of the world, I don't think we have the most incredible marketers that have money. There's prestige.
Yeah.
Like my dad, if you want to do something, he first ask you how many people are big in this industry.
Yeah.
So you want to do so, he'll ask you how many people are big in the soap industry.
Yeah.
If you can't count three, you say
Leave
that's
that
it.
in
You
there,
know, they work. So how did you deal with that for marketing? How did you get to this point that successfully you were able to sell through?
Okay, I'm going to digress a little, but for me to continue, permit me to remove my glasses.
Please do.
Let's see your eyes.
So that you can see my eyes.
I was waiting to see his eyes.
Let's know.
Yes, now we can talk.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let me start my stories from my 13 years, 12 years back then. So I've had this very deep love for being a personnel, a military guy.
Interesting.
I see that in you.
Now that
You get?
It's just his personality as a person.
You get? That's been me. And then whenever I wake up in the morning, I'm going to do press up like 15 times. Just to make sure that I look very agile and gallant. I am good to go. And it was so deep to the point that I got consumed. Like I can shout at anybody at any time, and I feel comfortable doing it because in my head I'm already a soldier.
You're living in the world.
I'm already in the world. I'm like a soldier. I'm putting on that camo, that khaki stuff, and I'm out there. So that was what was in my mind. But I made some attempts. Okay, so the first attempt I made was in 2011. I applied for Nigeria Defense Academy. The NDA. And some way, somehow, I will tell you something very horrible about it. The day I was supposed to go for my exams. Okay, so the exam was scheduled for a Monday. And on the Sunday evening, I have to go and play football. And right during the training, I had a fracture.
Oh.
Yes. And so that alone disconnected me from everything. So, African parents, the thing was massive. I got sick in the process.
Oh, wow.
So my mother was taking me from church to church, and they were like, prophecies, no, God did not destine you for to be in that space. Yes. And I held back myself. And I said, God, after that, what do I do with my life?
So, quick question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, please.
So, if you were given the opportunity to become a military person right now, would you take it?
Right now?
Yes.
Now that you've come.
Now that I have come.
Yes.
No, I won't.
Why? Why?
Okay, so I won't, because I know being in the military is a beautiful thing. I feel it should be it should be an act of selflessness.
Okay.
But at this point of my life, I want to be selfless in trying to make sure that I help people directly. Okay, so what I do currently is that I help people identify what's ordinary they don't know they need.
Okay.
And then I try a process that will make them connect with what they don't know that they need. And then I present it as a solution to them. Yeah. So if I'm given the opportunity now to becoming a personnel, in my head, I feel that I'll be limited to a space.
Yeah.
For example, I'm being posted to Borono. I have to be in the forest. And that's not what I want to do now.
Sure.
Yeah. So let me go back to my story.
Of course.
Along the line, I discovered that apart from doing military stuff, I'm always this guy that wants to be I want to see myself in people's shoes. I want to see myself in your games, in what you are doing. In fact, I find more pleasure and feel satisfied seeing that you are happy. And so, in one way or the other in my head, I begin to fancy, talking to people about things, trying to sell ideas, trying to sell concepts, and I now decided that, come on, I can do marketing.
Yeah.
However, then I started a business, so I was doing cocktails.
Cocktails?
Yes, cocktails. So I was mixing cocktails. I go for events and people hire us. You get? So I was like, now that I have a business, I think I will need the marketing ideas to run this business.
Yeah.
So quickly I got Jam Form, and my first and my second choice for course study was marketing, and I got it.
So under management, you did marketing?
Under management, I did marketing. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And can I go further?
Yes, please. I'm enjoying this conversation.
Can I go further, please?
Yes, please.
And today, ladies and gentlemen,
All right. Yeah.
I am a sales expert.
So I think some of the things I recognized also come from his journey is that, first off, even though he had failed at some point,
Yeah, of course.
and of course, the African setting gives you a lot to believe in,
Yeah.
right? There was something about him he discovered. The fact that he thinks he could talk to people effortlessly.
That's true.
Share ideas,
That's true.
sell dreams. I mean, we have a larger percentage of young people these days that are not particularly concerned about what they want to do for others, or rather what they want to get.
That's true.
We live in a society where everybody wants to get, wants to hold, wants to so people are not selfless enough to say, oh, for example, you're getting a business idea. It's not about how can I help someone, it's about how much can I make.
Yeah.
And
the money mind thing.
Yeah, that approach many at times causes for the percentage of failed businesses in
That's
this part of
true.
the world.
That's true.
And so I've learned so much from him. So I want to talk to you about your story.
It's my turn now.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Let's get to you from.
Let's go.
Okay, so before you go further, I think she is blessed amongst men.
Interesting. Actually, I just noticed that.
Yeah, she's blessed amongst men.
You said that you wanted to do theater arts, of course, but things didn't work out exactly how you wanted. Somehow you're now doing sales, you're doing business development.
Yeah.
So from the point where you got out of school and you tried getting into theater arts somehow, subtly, how did you arrive at sales? Did you apply for jobs in maybe the petrochemical industry? Did you kind of work there? How did you transition into sales? Somehow, somewhere, I know there must be
a transition.
Yeah, somehow. How did it
Okay,
happen?
so I told you that I tried movies and I tried music, right?
Yes,
I mean, what I did not tell you is that I was a model.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that part.
Yeah, it's still
I
telling
have
on
deep
you.
respect
It
for
still
models.
tells on you.
Now, in 2013, I'm going to tell you the first thing I sold.
Okay.
Right? In 2013, there was this pageant, Miss Bielsa. I told myself I must go for this pageant and I'll win it. But I mean, as a young girl now, you had these aspirations. I was in my uninformed optimism.
Thank you.
I went there with my old gang and I was doing my thing. I didn't even come up top 10, not even top 15. And then they not even dashed me and said, "You will not follow."
Like
what
give
is
up.
this?
Like give up.
You're not even supposed to you're not supposed to smell this place. Normally, a lot of persons would give up because of what the judges said. Actually, not one judge, not two judge, not three judge, the 10 of them. I know fully. Like, I'm not even supposed to think of being a model. But that pushed me. I'm somebody that, if you tell me no, I'll keep pushing. I'll keep poking at it until you say yes. If you don't say yes, you will say partial yes. That will turn to a maybe. That at some point will say, okay.
Oh yeah, just do it now.
So I went back. I went back to iterate. I went back and I started working on myself. Step putting in more energy, more effort. I started working on myself. That's where the what's it called? The stage where you can go to work by yourself. Oh, there's a word for it, but if I remember, I'll say it. You go to that point. I started working on myself. I worked so hard. I didn't have one naira, but I was working on myself. I kept meeting different models, the likes of Z Bolivar, the likes of Samantha, the likes of this girl that won Nengi. I was just meeting them. Again, me and Deborah Alfred were friends. one time Face of Niger Delta. You know, I met all those people. We were talking. I was having strategies, and I came out.
You're ready to win this thing.
And I went to Finest Girl Niger Delta in 2015, Abuja.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Interesting.
I did not have anybody there. Nobody, no soul. So I can't want to fly them over or pay their transport. You know, now as a student, you have money.
No money.
You don't have money.
Yeah.
So I went there, and I did not know how to sell my tickets off. I did not know how to sell my tables off to give the tickets to sell.
Okay.
So I entered the Banex there. I told them that there's a pageant going on. I'm representing university. I saw the Igbo and I not told them I was from Victoria. I know Igbo people. They speak, you know.
They are very
They
friendly.
looked at me. So you win this thing. So I people said contributing money for me. The first time I sold something was myself. The idea of me going for something. That's the first thing I sold. And then I raised 1.2 million naira in the market.
This is incredible. The first thing she sold was herself. I tell persons this a lot. Sometimes people look outward. They want to sell something and they are looking for example, talking about branding, colors, aesthetics. I'm like, yo, the problem is not the colors.
It's you.
It's you. You are the first content. You are the first point of contact. Once you're good, once you have something, I mean, you attract.
That's
right. And I'm glad that worked for you. It shows that these principles are true.
Yeah, they
you
are.
can continue.
So 1.2, I went to the pageant board. I gave them, and Mr. Bobby at the time told me, I don't know how you do this, but I think I want you to win this. I want to win it too, but I don't want to be in my own opportunity. Now I wasn't my informed person, so I just knew my head. Last top 5, but I was good with that because I know that this opened doors for me for the next one. And then the people that bought the tickets, the market people now, come on. The hall was choked with my people. People that I just met 2 days before the program. The regulars, because I sold more regular than I did table. I only sold one table. I sold more regular than I did table. I sold more VIP than I did table. And then the hall was jam-packed. People were screaming, River State. So I come out to the stage, I'm wearing some marvelous gown in my head, and I'm seeing other beauty queens wearing something else, and I'm like, I just might not look too fine. But the amount of confidence I exude,
they couldn't tell
me on that stage. And they smile like say they come from my, as in like say nothing, no problem for this wobbler and officer.
But then inside you had this.
Inside me, I was trembling. You would see me, my voice was shaking, I was shaking. But as I'm smiling, I was like, this girl, it's like there's some, like she knows the pageant head. She has done something. People even got to that this girl, like she's the one that won, she has done something. Guess what? They called top 10. They didn't call my name. The people in the hall did not have it. They said bringing pure water.
Oh my!
Not disappointing. I'm not done.
Okay.
Said stoning pure water. They said Bayelsa. That girl from Bayelsa, bring her out. They just said they don't pick Bayelsa. Bayelsa said what's going on? They said okay, give us in my regalia, representing
African.
I can imagine.
I came out, they asked a simple question.
Okay.
So that's where I knew that I could talk to anybody and not feel threatened.
Okay.
So they asked a question, what's the color of an orange? They asked these people, what's the color of an orange?
If you ask me, I'll say orange. Am I wrong already?
You're correct, actually.
Oh my
God. No, the funny thing is, the ladies there, pink, green, yellow, they were all saying this, and me, I was not laughing. Because I couldn't take it. You know me now? I laugh a lot. I could not contain it. And they came to me, what's the color of an orange? So what they do is that they say, thank you very much for this wonderful question. Why am I thanking you for asking me a question that's putting me on the hot seat?
Okay.
And I said, the answer to this question is an orange. And I said, but you didn't say thank you very much. I said, why am I thanking you? The same thing. I said, why am I saying thank you for the question you just asked?
Wow. Goodness was
And they said, yes, orange is correct. And then we went backstage. So now the dinner down, I came out. I did my whole, to wow the audience and all that. My people were screaming that I made you this video. Everybody was happy. And then I asked the next question. How do you improve Nigeria's tourism through pageantry? And I gave my answer. And I won the pageant.
Wow.
Interesting.
And
You deserve.
I was ecstatic. I did not believe in my heart that I could what I did. What am I trying to say? At the end of the day, after the whole run around, I went back and I worked on myself and I came out and I understood the craft of the business and the business of the craft. And then I began to sell. So the first thing I sold was myself. The second thing I sold was an idea. And the third thing I sold was service. So that's how I became.
So those things began to make you feel like I can sell.
No, I already know I could sell. If I could sell 1.2,
yeah, so
my
it's
first
like
try, I told myself that there's no need for me to try anything in this life. This
let
is
me
where
just
I
do
die.
this.
Sales or nothing.
Now that's incredible. I learned a lot from your story and from the experiences that Mr. Harry shared. So a little bit of my story here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This will be an interesting one. Can't wait.
so now here's what you should know. When he spoke about the NDA, I realized that I actually applied for the NDA too.
He did medicine.
Oh,
He did medicine.
This guy has been everywhere.
And at that point,
And
I
he
was
also
see.
danced.
Jesus. See, you don't also know. My stories are, of course, complex, but it's incredible to be here with you. When I applied for the NDA at the time, I was desperate because now
Desperate daddy.
I was like, in African homes, when you finish your secondary school and then it's 1 year at home, you're already looking at your friends and your colleagues. Everybody's like flying home. And you're like, okay. So I was even telling my father, see, even it's polytechnic, let me go. I don't want to scare. You know that kind of.
But you don't say even though you see OE,
no, I don't think so. But then I applied for NDA too. For it didn't work, right? But how did I get to where I am right now? Of course, I do marketing, a whole lot, business development, and I do content marketing. I talk a lot. And while I was growing up, I didn't know I could do all of this. But there was a season in my life where I began to do music, right?
So you were in my line. So you just sit and
yeah,
between
I am a
jack of all trades.
I am
jack of all trades.
Now I did music professionally,
You
right?
did?
Yeah, I have. You could check my YouTube channel. I have recorded songs. I have music videos.
Wow.
All of them are out there. I'm gonna show you.
Who is this guy?
You can check it now.
Are you Rema?
Go on YouTube. Check my YouTube. My name Akuna Tamarakoro. You will see my YouTube video, my music videos. Go on Unmask. You're going to see my songs, right? My singles. Well, now that's not the story. The story is how did I get there? So I grew up in a house where I didn't have a brother. Now I have a younger brother, right? But at the time, being a teenager, my younger brother came when I was already like almost going to school. So I was alone with my sisters. It was just me. And then one of my elder cousins came to stay with us to write YEC and all of these things. So he largely influenced me because now he was the only guy I talked to. Now you have a guy to bond with. So he started teaching me a lot of things. Then we'll play PS2 at night. We'll hire PS2. We'll play PS2 all night. I never used to play games, right? I started playing PS2. Download game, so the guy thing was coming. He started doing music. I love music. He made me love it. I don't think I loved it before. But maybe it's been there. I just didn't know how to channel it. So he started doing music. I started doing music. So it was like whatever he does, I would do. So I started writing my songs. And how I knew I was getting better at it. Yeah. When I write my songs, I would tell him somebody else wrote the song. Right? Because if I felt like if I tell him I wrote the song, the first impression is not that I feel sad. I feel like he won't appreciate it. This familiarity, So and I knew people he liked, so I'll tell him, this person wrote this song, and he'll be like, man, this song is good. So me in my mind, I'm like, if this guy say this song is good, I don't blow now,
Yeah.
So that was like the moral support I had. So I began to write songs, and I spent more time. So eventually, he traveled after everything. I spent more time alone. So that was when I discovered I love the creative arts. I love to speak to myself. I love to listen to radio. That was the only company I had. Music, radio, and I was always working. So
you have sisters?
I'm a guy now. What would I be doing with my sisters? I mean, they are doing their thing. I'm doing my thing.
Wow.
Right? I get back from school. I'm working. I do most of, my dad had a couple of estates. So I'm managing properties. So all of those things, I do them with the company of my music. Okay. So that was how I began to shape my mind. So sometimes I'm in the bathroom, I'm rehearsing how to talk on radio. And I'm like, so navigating my life like, this is how I'm going to sound. Hello, everyone, so you're welcome to the... So I was rehearsing my whole life in front of me. And eventually, it was time to get into school. Well, my dad said, there's no money here. But I'd already discovered I was good with this thing. Right? But then obviously, as a young man, I just had to do like that. So I got into school and I began to do physics. In my mind, I was like, what will physics do for me? In Nigeria, they will tell you, don't worry, you can walk anywhere. And we always say, any course that they tell you that you can walk anywhere, just know you can't walk anywhere. Well, this may be a disclaimer for some people, but that was how we felt. So they'll tell us, don't worry, as a physicist, you can walk anywhere. I say, who knows? This guy, so if you could walk anywhere, why are you a lecturer? But anyways, the journey continued. So in my 200 level, I began to take up business ideas. I remember my first idea, I came up with something incredible, a drawing board you could break and just put in your bag, because now in school, when you get into school, science students don't like
the whole technical
board. People don't like the fact, and because when they see it with you, they'll see you're in year one. Nobody likes the year one stigma. That fresher taste. Everybody also feel like I'm a big boy, So I noticed people didn't like the fact that they were carrying drawing boards and going into school. And year one, it was kind of like compulsory for all science students in technical drawing.
It's like
engineering. So I was like, okay, this idea. So I'll just do something that people just put in their bags. I told my dad about it. My dad at that time gave me 2K. Yeah, he said, hey, I go and try it now. Yeah. I tried it. It failed. Not because it wasn't going to work, but because I was probably too I didn't have enough knowledge about how to go about this, So that failed. At some point again, I had this diary. I had so many business ideas. Somehow I knew this is what I want to do. So I had this thing. So I was in school, but I was trying out so many business ideas. I knew. So, especially in the room where I stayed, I and my guys, everybody loved business. So that was how, even though I was doing physics in school, I was consistently trying to get involved with business and all of those things. So eventually, coming out of school, I was like, it's business, right? And I began to I remember during my internship, I did my internship. A senior friend of mine sent me a course on digital marketing. And then Google was doing a free digital marketing course. So I just took it and I was like, I don't arrive. Even that, at that time, I still failed. Because...
So, you tried?
You don't want to know how many things I tried. I've not even said some. We will not live here.
I'm ashamed
for
you.
But I tried a couple of things. And did you know what? I loved the fact that I failed a lot of times. And today I can boldly say it. I failed. I'll tell you this. I sold Gary. Right? Yes. But this was what I did. I would tell people I sell Gary. I never had a warehouse. I didn't have a shop. All I did was I did flyers. I told them, if you need Gary, I'll bring it to your house. So people started calling me, bring Gary, come my house, right? Then I'll go to restaurants, tell them I can bring for you. Don't go to the market. Me, I'll bring it for you. So all you need to pay me for is the delivery. So I went to meet a dealer somewhere, right? That was selling. So I told him, okay, see, I'm just starting. So for benefit of trust, if you give me, I'll pay something when I deliver. So somehow it works. How did I solve that business? Fear.
Why?
Somebody told me, somebody bought, this very big bag. They call it 100 kg. Person bought, I said, the Gary no good. See, I don't go say bad guy. I was so scared, and that's the uninformed optimism. I didn't have knowledge enough, but I was enthusiastic about this thing, right?
So when you informed optimism.
So but all of these things told me that I was supposed to be in this space, right? And I just kept on. I kept on failing. Right? I kept on failing.
Failure is good because the truth is that the moment you fall, you can pick up because you already know how to navigate through the turmoil.
Yeah.
So failure is good.
So all of those journeys showed me that. And somehow there was a point I actually said, let me just get a regular job.
Okay.
Right? So I worked in a couple of firms, did regular jobs, right? And at some point I was like, there was this dissatisfaction, but you're on salary, there's this, I can do more now. People talk to me and they're like, guy, what are you even doing? So I'm like, okay, let's try out something. So I went back into the field. I started to relearn. I took of courses, and I started my thing, right? And of course, the rest is story.
Bravo.
Bravo for the man with many. It's more than Joseph.
It's more than Joseph.
I think my resume is incredible. But the beautiful thing about today is I've been able to learn from you, Vanessa, and from Mr. Harry.
Thank you.
So we're going to wrap up
from
now.
you too.
But before we close, before we wrap up rather, I would love for you to tell us what you learned from his story and my story. And Mr. Harry will also tell us what he learned from our story and my story.
Okay, first off, before I get to Mr. Harry and take off, just let me take off my glasses.
Okay, please do.
I'm not taking it off.
Alright.
So, let me start with Mr. Kuro.
Yeah.
So your story is beautiful. Somebody told me something one time. I will not call his name. He said, I do not like perfect people. I like imperfect people because they make the world perfect. What that means is, with all the failures you had, you're still here. It made you stronger.
Yeah.
It molded your character. So you can navigate through all these things and still come out with it. So I learned to be persistent, to be resilient from the story.
I feel like going to fail again. There's a way woman motivates you. You feel like,
let me just fail.
No, we like a winner. We like a winner. We don't like a winner, please.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yes, boss here.
Yeah.
I'm never calling you that other name that you call. I don't know that name. It's yes, boss, please.
Oh, you're free to call me yes, boss.
As for yes, boss, your story isn't beautiful. From a young boy trying to be a military officer, and I'm sure you had the mind of protecting and serving.
Of course.
And
Of course.
the fact that you put other people first,
Yeah.
that's selflessness.
Thank you.
That's the first thing I picked from what he said.
Thank you.
Being selfless.
Thank you.
And then the next one, even with the pain that you had, I don't understand why your parents took you to church.
No, I was terribly sick at the
You
moment.
were sick?
Very sick.
So they're taking you to the hospital.
Yeah, I was actually having treatment, but
It wasn't working.
It was more like somehow some were looking more spiritual
Than physical.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a topic for another day. But for today, even with the pain, you still found something beauty in the pain. So selflessness and then beauty in the pain. So no matter the situation you're in, always find that one thing that will make you smile.
That's true.
No situation is all bad.
That's true.
It says error. But if you look at that error, you will see B inside.
That's true.
So basically, that's what I learned from the story.
That's
and
true.
then, if I start talking, I'll start crying.
Don't cry. All right, Mr. Harry.
Okay, thank you. I want to start with Vanessa. Okay, from her stories, the one that really triggered me is at that point where she moved into a new environment and was able to connect with people, and she made her first sale. To me, that is incredible. The craft that is involved in selling, and in less than no time, she was able to do that. To me, is striking.
In a new environment.
Yes, in a new environment. So I think
in 2 days.
that's what I'm saying. In 2 days.
Record-breaking attendance. If that was a
we need to write to Guinness Book of Record. Your name needs to be enlisted there. But on the serious note, on the more serious note, I think I appreciate the fact, and I learned how an individual can swiftly connect with the social environment. Yeah. So after now, I think I want to ask her some more questions about that. So I learned that no matter how new you are in an environment, you can connect with people.
Yeah.
You can connect with people. And the second in that very story is the boldness. So I learned also that you have to be bold at all times, because she said she was somehow skeptical. There was this fears in her. Yes, she came back and she was looking bold. Because of that boldness, the people that she has already sold to previously, they are up game. They were encouraging her and they were clapping for her. So I learned that one have to be bold. Yeah, so boldness and then the ability to connect swiftly. Then for Mr. Tarama, right? I think Tamarakuro.
Thank you.
Yes, Tamarakuro. I'm trying to give an interpretation to that.
So
That's based on what I have in mind. God can never deny you. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, this guy tried so many things.
Yeah.
And failed so many times.
Yeah.
So I think what I learned from the stories is the best way or the fastest way to getting to your destination is to fail many times. Yeah. So I think that's what I learned from it.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you fail a couple of times, it helps you to
what not
move.
to do.
Yes, it helps you to grow faster. So,
all right. So I mean, this has been incredible. I've learned so much, and I believe it's same feeling for all of you.
yeah.
So what we study versus who we are. At the end of the day, we're doing something we love.
Wait,
That's
boss. He wants to skip his own. What did you learn from us?
What did you learn from my story?
I got
And
you
her
forget.
story?
It's even forget.
It's just to play a fast
It's
game.
fast one.
So I'm gonna do this quickly. Yeah?
Okay.
So first off, for Vanessa, I learned something.
Wait, boss. Can you start with Mr. Harry?
No, ladies first.
Ladies first.
Oh my God! Now, my heart.
I learned something very incredible from your story.
Okay.
And what I learned is your ability to take advantage of your environment. When people get into new environments, many times they take too much time trying to study.
That's true.
Too much timeline, study this one, study too much bureaucracy, and you don't have that time. You get into an environment, do something, do it now.
Yeah.
That's true.
You don't have a lot of time trying to be dramatic. And that bold step was incredible for me. Some people will say, I'm just saying, look, I study how people behave. That, I mean, your strategy works. It also works in business.
That's true.
Yeah.
It does.
Then for Mr. Harry, I learned something that if you actually want to do something and you know this thing is in you, go for it. He saw that at some point marketing was in me, right? And he went further into school to say, this is what I want to do.
That's true.
And I would say, luckily for him, he got it.
I got it.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
he did.
And he did.
And he's doing
And
excellent.
he's doing excellent.
Thank
So,
you.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
So I think we're even now.
Yeah, at this point, the
All right.
handshake.
So this was amazing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank
Of course,
you.
we're doing this again next time,
Of
right?
course.
And
Next
to all
time.
our viewers, we're here to stay. We are not going anywhere. And till we see you during our next episode, this is